He's gonna look at a place as fuck. It's all shiny. So this is a block-off plate for a fucking 350 Chevy. Because there's no way we can run the mechanical pump on this Cadillac because of the way the crossmember is. You can see here I had already talked about how it just ends up being really close to the frame. And as it is, like right there, the hood barely close, so we don't have to cut the transmission taller or anything. Putting it taller to clear the fuel pump would like give you a weird angle, and you have to cut the fucking floor and all that. So electric fuel pump it is. So that plate, it goes in that hole. Already cleaned it up a little bit, and I gotta take off those bottom bolts on that hole so I can fucking put that plate over it. Yeah, so I'm gonna start putting some wires on the Z. I'm gonna run my own ignition switch since everything's standalone already. So it's kind of like a little race car. I'm gonna undo all the little switches they had, and then I'm gonna run another Chevy alternator. I think it's a Nissan one. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar how it looks, but I'm gonna run the fucking HEI era fucking 1-wire, 2-wire Chevy alternator. Anyway. This thing's fucking ridiculously massive. I guess it's locked. I go get the key from the inside. But I think we have a power steering leak. We have a coolant leak. Got a pumper full of hopes and dreams here. Fucking pumper to 16 psi. A little bit less probably. And then let's see where the fuck the waterfall comes from or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's highly evident and easy to fix. But yeah, this is some sort of ferret diesel. I ain't too keen of these machines, to be honest, but it is here for some repair. So at this point, I don't know if fucking antifreeze is coming out of the head gasket joint or the motherfucking block is cracked there or something. But if you can see, the water's coming from right there, which looks like it's a fucking head gasket joint. Damn it, that shit fell right in my fucking... So it's like really pouring out of the top of this filter fucking housing for the oil filter. New Mexico, Old Mexico. I think in the summers when my neighbors hate me the most because I'll be over here like at 2 in the morning firing up the fucking grinder. Got a pretty sick line on this notch I made. I gotta weld it in. I already cut it out and I gotta cut out this side for the C notch. Late Friday or was it early Saturday, I hit him with a shotty that I bought from Academy. Duck for cover, you mock motherfucker. There you go, this bitch is getting welded. Gotta still clean it up. Break the slag off. Grind that shit. But she's golden. I gotta do the other side. We've been notching. She's gonna be Step side booty, bitch. Smell like something's burning and shit. Gotta watch the fuck out. I notched the other side and cut it. She's sitting full dump. Gotta change the shocks. Adjust still the pinion angles going up too much. I gotta bring it down. Like, I have an angle finder somewhere inside. I need to put the angle finder in there tomorrow and have equal angles coming and going, and we should be golden. Yeah, so the original shocks that came on the truck are shot. And I really don't want to spend any money, so I'm trying to run these adjustable coilover motorcycle shocks from a Triumph. Thing is that with these, when they're lifted, they have the same treble shocks, even though they have offset shocks. But when you slam them and the geometry changes, one side actually rides longer when you have them offset like this. So you can see you have to drill this side way lower than that side so it can have the same ride height. And I had to compress this shit, but it jumped the bushing because I didn't put the spacer. So I was just testing it. So it was a bitch to even put on there because I have to compress it with a press. So I'm gonna have to undo that, put the bushing back in it, put some spacer, see if I get the right height. Because I think I'm like, this is, I fold this. That's the height and difference that I have from the axle to the other side on the top. So it's like maybe like an 1/8 inch. And I think it's just sitting lower because if you can see here, it's not riding on the bushing. It slipped out of it, but that's not a big deal. But I think I'm right on the fucking money with the drilling and everything, so it'll be alright. So I'll be running some chrome adjustable coilovers. Yo. While I'm here working on the fucking Z, even though I have it running, it still needs to be figured out for the charging system and shit. I think the mechanic that had it put this new Nissan alternator and attempted to wire it all weirdly, Mickey Mouse style to the fucking system here, but it's not gonna fly. And I think it already had a Chevy 2-wire alternator because of that bracket that's just floating around the car. So we're gonna go back to a Chevy one. I don't know if this one's good, but I'm gonna use it for mock-up, and then I might go have to buy a new one. But it's gonna be a Chevy. I'm a fucking wire with a 184 bulb. Tractor style, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Shit's already out. Just gotta put the wires. Just went to do update and shit. Hell yeah, my brother. It's the power of hoarding Chevrolet parts. I had that bottom stump spacer laying around, and I had this alternator, and then boom, right in the fucking money. I just need to find the bolt for here, and it came with the spacers that it needed. So obviously it had a fucking Chevy alternator before, and when the guy burned it out where they put the battery backwards, that other mechanic tried to rewire a Nissan one somehow. But I gotta find out if this is ignition to the vehicle though, like power to a vehicle. I might put it different than I have it. They had a red wire to ground here for some reason. Mysterious voodoo shit. I don't know. Good thing I was able to find the actual pigtail that goes to the distributor, because this is like gold, because this doesn't know I need to put just a regular spade shit. So that's gonna fly pretty smoothly. I want to find that fool that was working. I want to talk to the guy that was working on this, tell him to retire. That fool has a distributor MSD box connected to the headlight switch, and then the power red to the fucking chassis on ground. Like, if it wasn't fucked up, he fucked it up already, but now that shit's useless. We're just gonna run HEI one wire. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting out all these fucking bullshit this guy did. He has like 3 ignition switches in a row, like, I guess so they won't steal it. Something wacky. But yeah, never. So I'll figure it out. Just kind of have to wire it now. So we reconfigured all the switches here because they were whack. So this one is the 194 bulb for the charging. And then, let's see, that light should come on. That light should come off when it's actually charging. And this is the fucking main power for ignition. I'll put it a couple of times. And then power. Bomb. It's alive. Está muy acelerado, préstame el desarmador. Man, this was had it idling all stupid high. She purring. She's burning up all the old oil. That's a little bit of blow by, but I mean, and then so I can prove to you that it's charging. It won't shut off because it's already charging with a Chevy alternator, homie. That's how you check if a car's charging, by the way. I really didn't have a chance to record yesterday because it was hectic. But here in this big, beautiful boat of a Cadillac. Let's see if I can show you. I have the drive shaft bolted on with the U-joint, which I had to go get another one because I had to take the other one apart and it's a bitch. Anyway, but I have warranty, so. Lucky enough that it's the good enough length and it bolts onto the flange just with a minimal modification. Now this one has a carrier bearing, so like I was saying, it bolted on and everything. It's from a 64 Cadillac, but the difference is that this one has a carrier bearing. So I'm gonna have to make like a little base and drill some holes that go through the floor or something. And weld like a plate to reinforce it so I can hang that carrier bearing. And I think that is the last thing keeping us from fucking cranking it over. I don't want to crank it over while the fucking drive shaft on, because then we wouldn't be able to put fluid in the transmission. I don't want to run the transmission dry. So pretty much after that I can get all the liquids. It has oil in it already. New oil. Not the funnest of fucking shits to do it without the hoist, but I'm doing it slowly so I don't fuck it up. If I said this shit was easy, I'd be lying to you. But I didn't fucking make one thing on the hull. This is the heaviest. You might be wondering, because these are actually pretty fucking light when they have the wooden floor. But this thing has a wooden floor, and then over it they put like a fucking 1/4 inch steel plate. So this bitch is heavy. I never really like how the square body mashes up with step side. I feel like after this generation of step side, they just try to make it and make it and make it, and then the newer ones just made no sense. But whatever, I dig it. If I said this shit was easy, I'd be lying to you. But I didn't fucking make one thing on the hoe. This is the heaviest. You might be wondering, because these are actually pretty fucking light when they have the wooden floor. But this thing has a wooden floor, and then over it they put like a fucking 1/4-inch steel plate. So this bitch is heavy. I never really like how the square body mashes up with step side. I feel like after this generation of step side, they just try to make it and make it and make it, and then the newer ones just made no sense. But whatever, I dig it. Not the funnest of fucking shits to do it without the hoist, but I'm doing it slowly so I don't fuck it up. before anybody says some Carolina squatting fucking shit talking, it ain't gonna stay like that. You still gotta slam the front and do all that. I'm probably gonna relocate the shocks, lose some coils, lose the bump stops, extend the upper control arms so it has the right geometry. That's easy peasy. But I had to get the bed on here because I have the bed over here and I just don't have the manpower. I can't move it by myself since it was all heavy. Usually I load and unload on the hoist, but since I have the Cadillac going on and this one at the same time, you know, I had to unload the bed over here, but it worked out good. It's under now. You see this pulley? It's like a chain block. It pulls it that way since I'm already under this, and I'm able to move the fucking truck by myself. The reason being is that I left the fucking key on. I killed the battery. And yeah. It's charging. I don't want to move any of the other cars. Really, they're all fucked now. Right now, the fucking still sitting a little wonky because the differential actually pokes out in and I always make a hole in the bed here, but I wasn't. Well, I was hoping I didn't have to make a hole in this one because this floor sits higher and there's wood in between, but even after I cut the wood out, I don't think it'll clear, so hopefully it does. Let's see what happens. I'm marking the bottom of the wood right now to see more or less where I need to trim, and then we should be in business. Putting this metal over that wood is probably the worst idea ever because it'll rust eventually, but I didn't do it and I don't care, you know, to take it all apart. Because it did well throughout the seam of this angle iron that's on this, and then it's hella bolted on with a whole lot of these like fucking flatheads, dome head bolts going through. So yeah, no. Yeah. So I came over here and got it on the hoist already, so I can cut out the floor and have it sitting right. But shit, shorty now. I gotta make some brackets for this bumper. I don't know what the deal is with these brackets it came with. Like I said, this bed was on a 67 or, well, 67 through 71, 72 truck. So obviously it didn't belong there, but they had already done something to this bumper to fuck with it. I don't even know if this bumper's from square body, to be honest. Gotta look some pictures, but it'll go good with it. It was on it anyway. I had to cut a fucking hole in that wood, and then you see that's the metal plate, and then there's that hole that's gonna give me a reference line, because that's actually right where I made that line is where the fucking axle rides. So ahead of the bolt towards the back is we're gonna clear a 1/4 inch, so I can cut it through the top. It's easier for me. So it's the basic premise. That's as far as it travels up. So I just made that tiny cut, so it's just the top of the differential that's gonna protrude through it. It's not actually always gonna ride like that right now. It's in like full slam, but I still gotta change the shocks because the bed's really fucking heavy and it just collapsed them. So yeah, it ain't a big deal though. This here is one of the more treasured jewels. When I used to work at AutoZone a long time ago, I was in charge of changing the planograms, and I would have to go early in the morning, and then they changed the planogram for the fucking threads, and they got a new fucking plate. So I grabbed onto this shit and I said, fuck, it's mine. Because they were going to throw it away anyway, you know. After you're done with that shit, you throw that shit in the garbage. And that's all the fucking threads. So if I ever need a measurement, come and look for it. But as expected, these are the bolts for the fucking carrier bearing, and I don't have any because now they need to be way longer. I don't know if I'm gonna look for bolts or just make a space here, the bolts offset. But so I'm spending all morning doing this fucking bracket that I already have bolted on. See it? I have that bracket that I gusseted and shit put together early this morning. And luckily enough, somebody had already drilled some holes there for something else. So I just had to like use them as a guide reference. And then bam. And then I'm just looking for some bolts I'm gonna run through. And I'm gonna double plate it. I'm gonna put a plate over it, run the bolts, and then maybe tack it. I don't know. There's really no force there, just holding the bearing in place. So I had to take all the bullshit that was out here in the seat. I'm trying to put everything in the trunk, but I think I should tell this dude to come and pick up all the old shit in it. Because when I fucking test drive it, I don't think we should have that engine block sitting in that passenger seat. It's just double the load on the transmission. She on the ground, baby. Seems a little loving. A new seat, maybe some paint, but she called me. We're going to swap meet. Go to the 222 Mill Street. Hit up the fucking automotive car swap meet.
That's my team.
Ahí está. Es una cosilla leve, mi. ¿Qué rollo, pinche Claudio? ¿Qué tranza, pinche Claudio? Claudio has badass chest. He has like gray blue and shit. I guess more than what was sold at the swap meet, cause like I mean, I kind of just go for the hobby and like to meet people or whatever and shit. I don't really give a fuck. I was kind of like a sick hoarder. I was longing for my Cadillac hubcaps I sold, cause I've had those motherfuckers for like 15 years, and I sold most of them, those vintage ones. So I was kind of happy, but no heartbroken and shit, but whatever. However, the fucking parts we found that we needed is the star of the show, really, because I was able to crop this fucking ram horn manifolds for the Cadillac on the low for 40 bones. It's not bad, 20 a pop. Which now that, I mean, I'll put both of them on it. Initially, I was gonna leave the rusted one that has like the regular one on the other side, because I was just planning on finding one. But I'm like, man, they're both painted the same color and shit. I'm just gonna put both of them on it. I think it's better. And then that way when I make the exhaust, because you're gonna have to modify it anyway, they're both more or less symmetrical. Yeah. So, yeah. Fucking chicken looks like a giant crow because she's all black. It's cool. My customer was at the swap meet, so he paid me for him on the Quicks. I mean, it was whatever, but that's cool. Props. Gotta unload this bitch. Initially, I was gonna leave the rusted one that has like the regular one on the other side, because I was just planning on finding one. But I'm like, man, they're both painted the same color and shit. I'm just gonna put both of them on it. I think it's better. And then that way when I make the exhaust, because you're gonna have to modify it anyway, they're both more or less symmetrical. Yeah. So, yeah. Fucking chicken looks like a giant crow because she's all black. It's cool. My customer was at the swap meet, so he paid me for him on the Quicks. I mean, it was whatever, but that's cool. Props. Gotta unload this bitch. Yep, so on this side for sure we have to run this ram horn. You see here it barely clears the fucking steering box, but it's gonna be golden. I just got a pipe cut and like bend the pipe from the Cadillac. We can probably bolt the exhaust on. That's how they're bell. They look pretty good, they're painted. I should probably change the other side too. Since yeah, shit. And if I put the other one, this exhaust pipe, it's gonna be easier to join it because this one's facing down and back. And this bitch is kind of more or less in the same ballpark as the center one. So I'm gonna do that and look cuter, I guess. Right? It's painted. The engine's kind of painted. I don't know. Initially, I was gonna leave the rusted one that has like the regular one on the other side, because I was just planning on finding one. But I'm like, man, they're both painted the same color and shit. I'm just gonna put both of them on it. I think it's better. And then that way when I make the exhaust, because you're gonna have to modify it anyway, they're both more or less symmetrical. Yeah. So, yeah. Fucking chicken looks like a giant crow because she's all black. It's cool. My customer was at the swap meet, so he paid me for him on the Quicks. I mean, it was whatever, but that's cool. Props. Gotta unload this bitch. Yep, so on this side for sure we have to run this ram horn. You see here it barely clears the fucking steering box, but it's gonna be golden. I just got a pipe cut and like bend the pipe from the Cadillac. We can probably bolt the exhaust on. That's how they're bell. They look pretty good, they're painted. I should probably change the other side too. Since yeah, shit. And if I put the other one, this exhaust pipe, it's gonna be easier to join it because this one's facing down and back. And this bitch is kind of more or less in the same ballpark as the center one. So I'm gonna do that and look cuter, I guess. Right? It's painted. The engine's kind of painted. I don't know. Yep, so on this side for sure we have to run this ram horn. You see here it barely clears the fucking steering box, but it's gonna be golden. I just got a pipe cut and like bend the pipe from the Cadillac. We can probably bolt the exhaust on. That's how they're bell. They look pretty good, they're painted. I should probably change the other side too. Since yeah, shit. And if I put the other one, this exhaust pipe, it's gonna be easier to join it because this one's facing down and back. And this bitch is kind of more or less in the same ballpark as the center one. So I'm gonna do that and look cuter, I guess. Right? It's painted. The engine's kind of painted. I don't know. I got another short box, but it's missing one fender. It's missing the driver's side fender. It's pretty fucking straight. Good enough for the girls we go with. Shout out to Martsky Repair. I'll always be saying that shit's funny. This motherfucker. This motherfucker's a long bed. You see, the 8-lug fucking wheels usually don't have badass hubcaps. And then these rallies are for the fucking Dodge. And none of the Chevy dog dishes for the 3/4 actually fit around this donut here on the wheel, but I really like the slots in this wheel, so I copped these fucking Chevy hubcaps from an older Chevy, the swap mate, and I think they're gonna look wicked because I'm still gonna go with low pros. The thing is that for something like this, you gotta fucking make some shits like this. With a little curl on the top, and they're gonna go welder right here, and I'm gonna make like 4 of them all around, and they're gonna be able to be bent to more or less the center one side, because I'm gonna use this line as a reference. It's gonna be so I have 4 of these hose made, all the same, and it's measured to where it lands the same exact distance to where the lip meets. So I'm gonna fucking sap them in, and then hopefully everything comes out golden. The tabs look a little wild there, but it works. So I'm gonna try it on and see what's up. It's a lot of work for one wheel. Times 4. It's alright.